with kind of like all that being said, so what do you think Christians really misunderstand about the Talmud, about the Mishnah Torah, like some of these other things that they um commentaries from rabbis, the Rambam himself, like what do Christians really misunderstand about all this?
Systematic theology. And most Jews don't even know it exists. There's a systematic way of understanding Judaism that's never taught nowadays. The idea that's typically taught is like everything that's rabbinic was given on Mount Sinai. Everything from the teachings of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, everything was given on Mount Sinai. And if like you're questioning anything, their response is that it's my Masorah, right? And that Masorah always goes back to Mount Sinai. I mean, it's equivalent to when you're arguing with a Christian and they say the Holy Spirit told me, right? You can't argue with the Holy Spirit. Who am I to argue with the Holy Spirit? Who am I to argue with some tradition that your family received on Mount Sinai? That doesn't exist, okay? The systematic theology, and I think Christians miss this, is I think they leave out the role of the judge. The role of the judge in the Torah is such a important role. It's not just the king. It's not just the priest and the prophet. It's the judge. There's a whole book called Shoftim, the book of the judges, right? Who are these judges and what authority do they have in some way shaping our Jewish existence? And the answer is a lot of authority. I think Christians, when they think of rabbis, they think of Pharisees. And nowhere in the Talmud do the rabbis in the Talmud ever identify as Pharisees. So there's no reason why we should claim that, especially when we're living in Christian countries and these Christians feel that the Pharisees had a hand in unaliving Jesus. Right? The rabbis in the Talmud made fun of Pharisees. We have nothing to do with Pharisees. I mean, apart from that, we both believed in the oral law. The oral law is just the consensus of the judges that even Jesus would have revered as authoritative, right? I mean, the Pharisees and the scribes, they sit in Moses' seat. You have to do what they tell you to do. Just don't do as they do because they're a bunch of hypocrites. Okay, that means there was a consensus for Israel on how to move forward ceremonially, not how to love God or who's the Messiah or any trivial topic like that, from a earthly perspective, right? It's trivial, if we came up with our conclusion, because the Torah is the only authority on anything metaphysical from that perspective, right? But on how do we progress as a people in ceremonial law, right? So people in the Christian world just view anything rabbinic as completely man-made, and it might be man-made, but it's man-made and authorized and sanctioned from the Torah.